Hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report. Alongside Eric Sotheimer of the Los Angeles Times, my name is Randy Rosenblum. We're thrilled you're with us on SoCal Prep Report. A little later, we're going to talk Southgate Rams football. The Rams had a big victory, 22-6 over San Fernando. But Eric, I know you were watching Cathedral and Loyola play for the first time since 1973, and Cathedral won the game 21-19.
Yeah, it was quite a dramatic ending. Loyola missed on a 47-yard field goal as time expired. Then all the Cathedral players ran over to the Loyola student section and tried to take over the field, and they were very happy, and they deserved to be happy. It was an historic win for Cathedral. What I was most impressed about in coming to this game is seeing Cathedral's freshman quarterback, Bryce Young. This guy is going to be one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in Southern California by his senior year. Great arm, can move, and is so poised right now. And so Cathedral has a lot of tough games ahead, but they're going to be very good. And I was also impressed with Loyola's perseverance. They were down 21-3. They don't have their star running back who transferred to La Cañada, but they refused to give up, and they almost pulled off the win.
They had a beauty between Oaks Christian and Alameda. It goes triple overtime. OC wins this one 63-62. Micah Pittman, 224 yards receiving it and 3 touchdowns for the winner.
Yeah, this is the younger brother of Michael Pittman, who's now at USC. Great talent. Of course, they have Matt Corral. But Alameda is now 0-4, really a hard luck team. They've lost twice in overtime by a point. They had a forfeit a game to Garfield. I really think this team has some talent. Warren Jackson, the receiver, is outstanding. Quarterback Miles Bryant has been throwing the ball well. They just need to, it's a young team that needs to get past that close game.
Let's move to the city section. Carson in a thriller, 41-40 over Westchester. They won it on the final play of the game. Jaja Bellinger throwing 19 yards to Joseph Bryson for the winner.
Well, we know how good an athlete Bellinger is. He's a star shortstop for the baseball team. He can handle pressure, and this was the perfect example of a kid who didn't care what the situation was. He delivered, and Carson has pulled out a couple victories this year in the last second.
Yeah, the first one against Southeast. They came down the field and pulled this one out. They went about 80, 85 yards in the waning seconds. Then they got the touchdown pass to win it. El Camino Real 42, Harvard Westlake 21. Atkins of ECR, another huge game.
Yes, he's an outstanding player, and El Camino Real has really become the favorite to win the West Valley League. You think about Birmingham and Granada and Taft. Well, El Camino Real, helped out by a lot of transfers, key players, is really the team to beat.
That big group, 5 transfers from Texas, all the Hawkins boys, they're good.
Yes.
Banning 37, Hawthorne 7. Pilots had 2 touchdowns, Eric, in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Well, Joe Villarreal continues to play well. Banning might be the second best team in the city behind Narbonne, the way they're playing. Of course, the games are going to get a lot tougher once the Marine League starts.
Second best team. You think they're better than Crenshaw. Now, Crenshaw knocked off Garfield
possibility.
26-7.
Yeah, Crenshaw, this is the big week for Crenshaw. They play Vista Marietta, so we'll find out a little bit more.
Yeah, I think Robert Garrett's team has a chance. Not going to be an easy road trip at all. Of course, the Southgate game, 22-6 over San Fernando. We'll get into the essentials of that game a little bit later when we talk to the guys from Southgate. In girls volleyball, Palisades 3, El Camino Real 2. This was 2 teams that went to the semifinals last year. ECR won it last year. The Pally gets revenge, 16-14 in the 5th. Good match.
Yeah, it looks like the girls volleyball in the city, it is very equal, very balanced today. Not today, what I say, earlier this week, Chatsworth was able to knock off Granada Hills in a huge upset in 5 sets, so it's really equal right now.
I'm not shocked, and I know Granada's the top team, or supposedly the best team in the city, but Sina Agassi has Mahalia White at Chatsworth, tremendous outside hitter, and Sina does a great job. So that West Valley's the best league. Certainly Pally's got an opportunity to do some damage. No question about that. We want to hear from the coach when he comes out here from Southgate, Jose Casagran.
I just want to hear how he's been able to turn the team around since that opening loss to Western. That was a stunner.
Yeah, it shocked a lot of people, but we found out later that it was a very decent football team from Westchester that won its first 3 games before they lost to Carson this past week. We're going to step out. When we come back, you're going to hear our Southern Section report. Rich Estrella breaks down all the essentials of the Southern Section. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
Exploring LA County's trails is now a click away. A mobile-friendly trail locator lets you discover all our county's scenic hikes. It features an interactive map that takes you inside the trail. From the elevation to the temperature, what you need to know is at your fingertips. Wondering if your dog, horse or bike is welcome? It has that too. So discover some of LA's best kept secrets and happy trails to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Southern Section edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm Rich Estrella, and I'm joined by my broadcast partner on the franchise, AM 830, Bob Gibson. Bob, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me in again. Appreciate it.
A lot of people don't know that Bob was the guru here in Southern California for many years for Orange County football. And, of course, I used to cover the LA side, so we got a pretty good grip of what's going on.
We got it all covered.
In SoCal. But let's get into it, Bob. This is the last week of what we'll call the non-conference or non-league games for everybody. After this week, pretty much everybody will be in the league. Some teams will be in the league this week. But right now, let's take a look at some of the games that happened this week. And let's talk about, in particular, let's go see La Mirada beating San Clemente this week. The score there, 43-14. Bob, La Mirada had the most interesting pre-league schedule of anybody out there. They took on the big guns in the Trinity League.
Well, I give them a lot of credit because, yeah, you're right. They took on everybody, and they didn't shy away from it. And they took their lumps against Bosco and Mater Dei. That was to be expected.
Right.
But a nice win. They got themselves back on track against San Clemente. That's a good San Clemente program. Don't kid yourself. That is a big win, I think, for La Mirada. Number one, it gives them a little more confidence going into Suburban League play.
Right.
And number two, just a win, just to say, hey, we won another game after the win over Orange Lutheran. I think that's big for La Mirada, who's obviously the runaway favorite in their league.
Absolutely. And playing those big three early on, you know, it helps you with the speed of the game. You know, when you play other schools, you're not going to have great players at every position. And that's what will propel La Mirada once they get into league.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel they were overmatched necessarily by Mater Dei when I saw them a couple of weeks ago. Just Mater Dei is on just a whole other level this year than everybody.
I mean, how many high schools in Southern California or LA section anywhere are going to schedule 2 top 5 teams in the country on their schedule?
Not many. Not many.
Suicidal, man.
And La Mirada, like I said, they did not back down from that challenge at all. They didn't win, and the score looked a lot more lopsided than it probably was. But I give them a lot of credit for doing that because it's going to help them come CIF time and maybe get to a state game as well. You never know.
Yep. Now they get a bye week as they head into their get ready to head into their league. And well, last year they won state. They were a 3-loss team, but again they had that schedule behind them that dictate that they must go on.
Exactly.
And it proved out because they did win their playoff game and then got into the state and won state last year. Another game of interest. This goes back a long way now. Gar defeated Artesia 56-7, and why is that game significant? You know, Gar for many years been trying to get out of that San Gabriel Valley League. They're in there with Dominguez. They're in there with Paramount. You know, these are perennial CIF champions over there. You know, they got Downey to mess with. They got Raul Lara's Warren Bears. I mean, they're in a tough position. They tried to get out. Now they're dominant in that league.
Well, it's good to see because, you know, the Gladiators, you're right. They've been knocking on the door, trying to fight. You know, it's like a Jay Serra team in the Trinity.
Unbelievable.
You know, it's the good teams sometimes just run into bad luck and they're up against great teams. But good to see Gar getting a chance this year. They got a shot at it.
Everybody in that San Gabriel Valley League has been a CIF champion. I mean, they've been a CIF champion except for Gar. Everybody else in football, Dominguez won multiple titles. Paramount's won multiple titles.
Maybe it's their turn.
Linwood's won championships. You know, Downey High School has won multiple titles with Jack Williams at the helm over there right now. So, you know, that's a very tough, traditional black and blue league where everybody gets beat up every week.
Right,
you
that's
know.
Smash Mouth football right there.
It's terrible over there, man. Every week's it's kind of like the Trinity League. Every week is a playoff game in that league. So it's interesting to see that Gar has taken off. All right, another game this week, and we have some highlights for you, was the Valley Christian Bell game. Now, I'll tell you, Bob, when you hear Valley Christian and you hear Bell, you don't start thinking great football. Not real, I mean, good football, but not great football. And boy, oh boy, 17 touchdowns.
You like that?
It was a 63-55 Valley Christian over Bell. Unbelievable game.
I love that Valley Christian scored 36 points in the second quarter. I mean, Bell had to be thinking, what happened here? But then Bell came back in the fourth.
Rallied
and they scored
almost.
21 points
just about
to
rallied.
make it interesting at the end. So, I mean, well, obviously, what a fun game for the fans to go and check that one out. Those are two teams that can score a ton of points, obviously.
They definitely rallied in. But again, when you think of Bell, you think of Valley Christian, you know, they're good programs, storied programs, but you just don't think that they're both going to play terrible defense in the same night, and they did.
That's exactly what happened.
I mean, what was the total on that? 118 points
118 points, yeah.
One missed extra point, man. 17 touchdowns. How about that?
Crazy. Lots and lots of offense, not much defense.
Crazy ball game. All right, let's take a look at our top 10, Bob, this week. At the top, it hasn't changed with Corona Centennial.
No, and it won't change all year, I don't think.
It shouldn't. With their only loss being to IMG,
I'll tell you where it could change, though. I think if Mater Dei goes in and dominates Bosco, or let's say Bosco dominated Mater Dei, if one of those teams gets the other one by a pretty decent margin, I think that's the only reason you might say, hey, that's the kind of win that might propel you, over Centennial. But other than that, I don't know.
It might, but let's not forget. Let's not have that short memory what Corona Centennial did to Bosco last year.
I agree with
and
you.
the year before.
I hear you.
Corona just digs it out.
I hear you.
They got those neighborhood kids. Coach Matt Logan's got the program just humming. And you can't say any of it's a fluke, man. This guy wins the big stage, national stage, local stage. He doesn't care. Stage road. He's taking care of business.
Nothing phases those kids out in Centennial. Nothing. They've played everybody. They've seen everything, and they'll go smash helmets with anybody. They don't care.
Our top three, Corona, Bosco, and Mater Dei, are all interchangeable at this point. It's going to net out. It's going to clean up.
It will.
Centennial's already had their big test. A 1 point loss to, at the time, one of the top number 1 or 2 teams in the country. You can't be dropped out of the number 1 spot. Bosco and Mater Dei are going to purge each other. What was it? Do you happen to know what the date on how far? Is that the last game of the year?
I think it's the next to last.
Next to last?
I believe it's the next to last game of the Trinity season.
That's when they're probably going to purge one another because until then, I don't see them losing to anybody. Jay Serra in the 4th position. They're hanging tough right now, Bob. Jay Serra was a team that was picked to actually win the Trinity last year. They fell well short, baby. This year, there's no expectations, and they're in the hunt.
They are, and I think the Lions are going to have a lot to say what happens in that league. I think if they can get up and get somebody, there's a chance. They'll at least be the 3rd team, I think, in that league, no doubt.
Calabasas in the 5 position. Recruit you is what some people are calling it because they have so many transfers. And transfers just don't come, man. People tell them to come.
Well, that's usually the way it happens.
And then once you get the good reputation, people will just want to come. And then you're overloaded with great talent, and then people start leaving. They stop going.
When you see an opening, hey, I think I'll go to that school.
But Calabasas, you got to admit, they're having a great run right now, regardless of how they're doing it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic run by Calabasas, number 5. Rancho Cucamonga holding tough at number 6, followed by Oaks Christian. Now, the Oaks Christian Almani game, what a game. That was kind of like the Valley Christian Bell game. A 63-62 overtime game. At least the Valley Christian Bell game wasn't an overtime game. It was just a fun game.
It was just a great game.
Just a fun game.
This one went OT.
Yeah, OT.
And there was a 130-point score.
Yeah,
right?
You're starting to play that game, and it takes kind of some of the luster off it. When you can just play traditional football. But what a great game. Oaks Christian, man, showing their mettle. Almani, those guys know each other well out there.
Oh, very well. That's a rivalry that's been in play for a long time.
All right. And our buddies Hawkins. Remember I told you
Hawkins?
I
know. You
People
keep
said,
talking
Rich,
about Hawkins.
Why do you got Hawkins in your top 10? Are you crazy?
I know it.
Look it, man. They're playing great teams. This week they defeated Mater Dei. Can you believe it? And they just didn't beat Mater Dei. They beat them bad. It was 51-42. Who hangs 51 on Mater Dei, Bob?
Was that Mater Dei of San Diego?
Yeah, Mater Dei San Diego.
Right.
Well, it's still Mater Dei.
Good point.
Right? Oh, you're thinking the national champs?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
The guys that are on the cusp of
Was it Rawlinson's team?
No,
right?
it's not Rawlinson's team. We're talking Mater Dei San Diego. But a good win for them, playing a parochial school, playing out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Hawkins is going to have a great season. It's still rolling. They're still undefeated.
I don't see any way they're going to slow down. I think that.
Let's hope not.
It's like that tumbleweed that just keeps rolling.
Yeah, we want to see them get up there to number 1 or 2. It's going to be a long road to hoe, but they can do it. All right, real quick. Number 9 is actually a tie. So there's no number 10 this week. Number 9 is a tie between Rancho Santa Margarita and Edison. I agree. Rancho Santa Margarita played a lousy first game, but since then they've been on point against tough competition. You got to like them. I think they're wide awake, Bob, and they're going to have a good season. Edison's undefeated, and Edison's had some signature ones on their schedule as well.
Edison plays Mater Dei. It's the last time.
I know.
Dave White at Edison. He's retiring after this year. He gets one more shot at Bruce Rawlinson.
Well, why do you think I'm putting Edison in here now, man?
His kids will be pumped up for that game, no doubt about it.
Because possibly after this week they won't be in the top 10, but we'll see. We'll see. Mater Dei's a national power. Okay, real quick, Jay Serra versus Los Al this week. Los Al's on a roll. Jay Serra's on the move.
I like Jay Serra there.
All right, we'll see. I like Los Al. All right, how about that?
Sounds good.
You want to flip a coin right
now?
now?
Sure, let's flip it now.
You want to wrestle for it? What do you want to do? As Bob was saying, Mater Dei Edison this week, a very good game. Maybe they can give Dave White a present and unseat Rawlinson's national
what a present that would be.
championship.
What a going-away present that would be if his kids could do that for him. That'd be the upset of the year, easily.
All right, and we talked about teams starting league this week. In Norwalk, it's the Crosstown rival. It's the Mayor's Trophy. Norwalk's taking on Glen. Hey, Glen's already got a win on the season. That's one more win than they had the last 5 years, Bob. They're smoking right now. And, of course, Norwalk's atop the Suburban League right now. They're usually pretty good. They've been in a Australia final a couple years ago. Should have won that game. But they lost to some stupid stuff at the end of the game that kids do once in a while.
Yeah, that happens.
But it is what it is. All right. That's going to do it, Bob. Thank you for joining us for this edition of the Southern Section Report from the SoCal Prep Report. We're saying so long from your friends here. We'll see you next week.
What's happening in LA? I'm Arian Alexander. How would you like to be in the know of some special events at some of the most historic places in Los Angeles? Well, take a peek. Reimagine the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, the iconic downtown venue, with Sleepless, the Music Center After Hours. Revel late into the night at the Music Center with never-before-seen spaces and new experiences as you race towards dawn. From behind-the-scenes access and top-floor views to secluded basement encounters, experience the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion transformed with DJs, dancing, eye-opening video installations, delightful activities, and sonic sculptures. For details, go to musiccenter.org. The Natural History Museum's first Dino Fest is set to bring dinosaurs to life through a series of talks, performances, tours, and hands-on activities. Paleontologists will be on hand to lead unique discussions, including a talk on the making of Jurassic Park with paleontologist and film consultant Dr. Jack Horner. Enjoy activities like an interactive fossil dig, demos, workshops, and behind-the-scenes tours that will feature special museum specimens on rare view. For tickets, go to nhm.org. Join us this Sunday for a day of fun, food, and entertainment while you soak in the convivial spirit of the sunny beachside community of Venice. The Abbot Kinney Festival takes place along a mile-long stretch of the world-famous Abbot Kinney Boulevard, arguably the coolest block in America. The boulevard's eclectic boutiques, artisan eateries, and influential art galleries infuse the festival with a local flavor that makes this event unique and not to be missed. For the festival guide, go to abbotkinney.org. We already knew that Abbot Kinney was cool, but who knew that Dorothy Chandler Pavilion and the Natural History Museum could be that cool too? See you next week, everyone. I'm Arian Alexander for What's Happening in LA.
Can you believe the atmosphere last week at the Rams game and the huge victory the Rams were able to provide you, the fans? Not those Rams, the other team that played in Los Angeles, the other Rams, the Southgate Rams. Their coach, Jose Casagrande, is here, and so is his Holiness, Tremar Holiness, the great running back. Two men that were instrumental throughout a very good season. They're already 3-1 and a big win last week over San Fernando. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, talk a little bit about that victory over the Tigers of San Fernando.
It was a great victory. I thought it was a statement game in terms of recovering from our earlier loss in the season, and most importantly, we've been getting better every single game, and so that's really the goal throughout the season. Defense played great. They only allowed 6 points, and offense had some, we moved the ball but couldn't put together consistent drives in the first half, and they held us, kept the game in close within reach. In the second half, we came out and played well.
I know you're excited about having Tremar on your side. Why is he so special?
He's a great kid, first of all. As I said, I'd be proud to have my daughter date a guy like him. It'd be wonderful. She's too young, so don't get any ideas. But he's a great person, that most foremost, beyond anything else. In terms of a football player, he's fast, he's elusive, he runs hard, he blocks well. On the defensive side, he steps in, and whatever we've ever asked him to do, he steps in without any kind of complaint. So he's a team first kind of guy. And I really appreciate that. And we've never had any problems with him in terms of discipline off the field. And so the kind of person that you want around, you want to coach, and you want to be around.
I want to nickname him the Pope because when I first saw his name, it looks like holiness, but it is pronounced holiness. Do you like being called the Pope?
Yes, I love being called the Pope.
So you're going to live with that nickname?
Yes, forever.
He's got it.
Into the NFL.
All right, you heard what the coach had to say about you. I know you play offense and defense. What's your favorite position, and why is it your favorite?
My favorite position is really running back because, as he said, I'm fast, I'm elusive, and I run hard. And anybody that tries to tackle me, it's not going to happen. And I feel like I can get past anybody that comes towards my way.
But most importantly, you think you're the prettiest player on the team, right?
Prettiest player on the team.
See, is this true? Is this what's most important on the team? Is who looks the best?
Sadly, we've seemed to cross that ground now. But these guys have a contest, and there's a lot of discussions going on during stretching that I try to stay away from.
So he is a modern-day Muhammad Ali. That's what we have here. Do you float like a butterfly and sting like a bee?
Always and forever.
All right, I love that. All right, your team started 0-1, tough loss against Westchester. You've won the last 3. Turned it around. What has turned it around?
Well, Westchester, first of all, they've done a good job turning that program around. They've had a good season so far. So they were better, I think, than most people expected. We turned over the ball a lot in that game. Since then, we've done a better job of securing the ball. And that's always going to determine, I mean, the number one determinant of victories in the NFL is turnover ratio. So as soon as we got that, a handle on that, things got better. But the truth is, we've played better on defense in every game in particular. And I think that's why it's turned around.
Tremar, I know you like to run the ball, but blocking is really important as a running back, as your coach said. And we've seen teams win games because of the running back block.
Right.
What's your thoughts about blocking? And because you're not that very tall or big, so how do you block against these linebackers coming in?
I just think of them as my size. I really don't feel anybody is like really that much stronger than me. I feel you're in the same grade as me. You're in the same school, like same kind of type of atmosphere. So I feel like if you're coming at me, I'm just gonna go 2 times harder than you're coming at me.
So it's a technique thing, and sometimes you have to sacrifice the body.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go low. Sometimes I stay high. It's just really on how you come up towards a person, come up towards how they're coming in, things like that.
Right, because we know you're going to be doing some blocking because in your league, Coach, Bell gave up 9 touchdown passes and Huntington Park gave up 9 touchdowns. I can imagine what the strategy will be in the Eastern League against those 2 teams.
Well, I like to throw the ball nowadays. I mean, it's a long way from the
poor
wing T
running
days,
back
right?
here wants to run the ball.
Well, you know, this has been an ongoing discussion. He only averaged, I think, 10, 12 carries a game last year, and out of that, he was able to make second team
Come on, he
Division
wants
I.
more carries.
All-City. Yeah, he does, but so does everyone else. You know, you got Jamal Neal wanting more receptions, Leonard Jackson wants more receptions.
Job.
You know, Dixon. So spreading the ball around is what I try to do to keep us balanced.
You have a fan on the Dallas Cowboys. Tell us who he is and how did that all come about?
Oh, well, Ezekiel Elliott. He liked my picture on Instagram. I tagged him. I have my crop top jersey just how he does, and I put the caption, "It's too easy," with the easy E. It's like Ezekiel Elliott, and he liked it. It really made me happy because that's really one of my favorite running backs.
But I don't think Randy knows what Instagram is, do
I
you?
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't
I just
use
wanted
it.
to make
I'm
sure.
more of a text guy and Facebook. Speaking of the face of the conference, the Eastern League. Recent years dominated by Garfield. How do you turn that around and take it away from the Bulldogs?
Garfield, these guys put up Garfield every year. It's a good game.
I'm not saying good
Dominates.
games,
You hear
but
that?
Garfield's been winning
He
the
used to
league
coach
title.
at Roosevelt. He never lost to Garfield.
Who's been winning the league
One
in
time.
recent years? Garfield,
God.
right?
Well, you know what? I think we have turned it around in the sense that what Eric's saying is true. We lost by 2 points 2 years ago. We lost by 1 last year. So we're right there.
You're
Those
gonna
are
tie 'em
games
this
that
year,
could go
it
either
sounds
way. But
No, but you
but
enjoy
Garfield,
playing those games.
I do love those games, and Garfield's a great program with tremendous history, tremendous alumni support. I have a lot of friends there. Hernandez has done a great job. So that was always, the benchmark for us when I got to Southgate. We've gotten there. We just haven't quite been able to turn that corner, as they say. Maybe we will this year, maybe not. Remains to be seen. But we're right there with them at least,
But
and I'm
isn't
proud
the
of that.
Southeast game also kind of important to you guys? You know a lot of the players, right?
Yeah, it's very important to us. They feel like they can beat us every year, but we've turned it around over the years since back then when they were always beating Southgate. But now we feel like we're the new best team in Eastern League.
Right, so you're not going to do a Joe Namath and predict the score for that game, the Southeast game?
He may not even know who Joe Namath is. I mean, you're giving away your age.
See, I'm
doesn't.
sorry. He doesn't. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you one thing, though. They're going to definitely come out hard and gunning for us because there were a few.
They can score.
Yeah, they can. Well, they got a lot of talented kids. They had about 4 of them were at our game. They came up and we were talking after the game, and they absolutely knew the date of when that game is, and I don't. So I better find out because they're going to come ready.
I'm going to update Tremar right now. In Super Bowl III, a long time ago, Joe Namath was the star quarterback of the Jets. He predicted they'd upset Baltimore, and they did. They won 16-7, and it was a big breakthrough win at that time for the AFL and forced the merger with the AFL and the NFL, and that's why we have what we
Sports
have today.
icon.
It's a long time ago, though. You read those history books, you'll find out all about it. History takes you back to Roosevelt and the Garfield-Roosevelt game. You did well when you were at Roosevelt against the Bulldogs. In recent years, Garfield has completely controlled and dominated that game. Can Roosevelt get back into that and make it interesting? I know they're rebuilding over there now.
You know what? I don't know about this year. But absolutely, rivalry games, you know how it is. It can swing back and forth any given year. I mean, I want to say about 3 years ago, I think they lost by 1 point, or it was like maybe 3. So, I mean, there's been opportunities. They just haven't really been able to beat them. I'm sure it's going to turn around. Those kids have too much pride. That community, it means too much to both those schools for it to stay one way forever. When I got to Garfield, they had won, I think, 11 straight or something ridiculous, or I think 10 out of 11, to be honest with you. And then we were able to turn it around at Roosevelt. So it will swing back. It just, you never know exactly when. And Coach Hernandez makes it tough because, I mean, they got it rolling.
One thing I wanted to ask you, a lot of kids aren't playing football anymore. They're playing other sports, and we've had dwindling numbers and rosters. Why do you keep playing football? What makes you come out each day for that?
I mean, I really love it. It's one sport that brings a team together, brings you and your friends together. As my coach is saying, him and his friends, after football season, they came to his weddings, type of things like that. It brings character inside of a man, you get me? And that's why I really love that type of sport, because it brings you together with everybody that's on your team, even coaches.
Right. You're going to invite him to your wedding, right?
I don't know about that, probably. Thinking about it.
I'm glad we were able to bring you guys together with us. We brought this harmonious group together tonight. Guys, best of luck this week against Salesian down the road in the Eastern League. Southgate, the Rams, got a good football team. They're 3-1, a threat. We'll see how well they do come conference time. We'll step out and have a lot more right after this on SoCal Prep Report.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Let's go over this week's key games. Old rivalry in the San Fernando Valley. The Van Nuys Wolves are back under Mike Williams at Canoga Park, the West Valley Mission League opener.
It's the Valley Mission League opener.
It's in the West Valley. It's the Valley Mission League.
Anyway, Canoga's going to win. Okay, is that enough for you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, Canoga will win.
I think Van Nuys is going to stun him. Norm Chow's helping out.
Are we making a bet on that?
We don't gamble here.
Okay.
Norm Chow is helping out the Wolves.
Okay.
Mike Williams is now
Good
the head
luck on
football
that
coach,
one.
former star at SC. I'm going with Van Nuys. LA and Hamilton. Interesting game.
Yes, a very good game. I'm going to give a little edge to LA. Hamilton, though, did a great job against Hawkins, as you kept saying in the first game. They got some players, but I think Eric Scott's preparing for Narbonne next week, where they're going to have a very tough time.
I'll go with Los Angeles. I think they're the better football team. But Hamilton, when they play those day games at home, are really tough. Dorsey at St. Francis. Intersection.
This is a great game because Dorsey has got all that speed. St. Francis has been getting better, very disciplined. I'm going to go with Dorsey in an upset.
I'll stay with St. Francis at home. I got Bonds' team there. Crenshaw at Vista Murrieta.
Vista Murrieta had lost last week to Jay Serra. They were missing 3 starters. They're going to get a couple of those guys back. I don't think Crenshaw's going to enjoy its ride home from Marietta.
Yeah, it's a long bus ride home, and I unfortunately agree. I think Crenshaw will keep it close and has a chance. I wouldn't be shocked. Henley's a great quarterback, but I think they're going to lose at Vista Murrieta. Salesian at Southgate. We just heard from the Rams. Can the Rams win another one against
I'm
Salesian?
sorry, Mrs. Casagran. I picked against Southgate last week, but I served as great motivation. I'm picking against Southgate again. Maybe it will help them again.
Salesian has better athletes. Southgate needs to force turnovers. Going to be tough. I got to go with Salesian. They put 71 points up last week.
Jose's wife is going to be very upset at you,
With both
too.
of us. But at least I picked them last week and you did. She's still mad at you for that.
Okay.
That's it, Eric. We're done.
Yeah, is that it? We're not talking baseball, basketball.
we're done.
By the way, we should mention in basketball, a great event is coming up this weekend at Chaminade High School, Joseph Frazier Showcase. It's in honor of the former Calabasas assistant who was involved in a hit-and-run accident. He's still in a coma, and all these teams from around the area are just coming to donate their time to play. And there's some great teams on, particularly on Sunday at Chaminade.
Very good cause. That's going to wrap it up for Eric Sadheimer. I'm Randy Rosenblum. We'll see you next time right here on SoCal Prep Report.